up, everybody? Welcome back to Sick Eric Tech, and today we're going to be doing some pros and cons of the new Blue Bold N3. Now, I've had this device for a little over a week, going on 2 weeks now, and I have some things to say about it, some cons and some pros. Mainly a lot of pros on here, but there are some cons. Obviously, of this device. It's not perfect, and we're going to go on over them and talk about them briefly. So before we get started, consider subscribing to Sick Eric Tech, that way you don't miss out on future videos just like the one you're about to watch today. Now, I do have a little cheat sheet on here, that way I can remember what each one is. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about this display. So this is a beautiful 6.8-inch 120 hertz 1080p AMOLED display. This thing is gorgeous. This is flagship level of displays. You got nice thin bezels. Sort of reminds me of a OnePlus device. I don't know why. It just looks like that with that curved display. And the colors on here are absolutely fantastic. Beautiful. It's smooth. You get nice viewing angles on here, so that's really nice. You get a hole punch cutout. And like I said, the bezels are quite thin. You do get a curved display if you don't like curved displays. For me, it doesn't really bother me, but it is a very nice display. It definitely gets bright enough indoors and outdoors. So if you're outdoors, you definitely can see this pretty well. It's not going to be the brightest thing in the world, but it is definitely up there when it comes down to brightness, and it is viewable in direct sunlight. So I have no issues. I haven't had any issues with this display. You get 393 pixels per inch on here, and it has about a 90.9 screen to body ratio on here. So that's really nice. 1080 by 2340. So yeah, beautiful display. Definitely one of the pros on here when it comes down to that. So performance on here, this is running the MediaTek 7050 Dimensity chipset. So as far as power goes, this thing is a beast. I have no issues running this. You get 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of internal storage. So no issues with lagginess on here. Everything seems to work really well on here. I edited a video on here. It went just fine using Power Director. No lag, no issues. So that's fantastic. And it's going to get the job done. As far as gaming, you're pretty much going to be able to play pretty much most of your games on here. I don't play games, so I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes down to gaming. But as far as that goes, the processor on here is going to do just fine when it comes down to speed, performance, and being able to get every task that you need done on here. So no issues with that Dimensity 7050 chipset. I know it might be used in a lot of other devices, but here, no issues whatsoever. You're pretty much getting a mid-ranger processor on a budget phone, so that's fantastic. So as far as the pricing goes, so this device started out of the gate at $199. That's how much I got it for. That's how much a lot of people got it for, but the MSRP is $299. It went up to $250, and I believe it went up to $299, but it may be down to $250. So even at that price, it is a really good deal. You get a lot in the box. You get your charger, you get everything. We'll talk about it in a little bit. You get everything in the box for the price. And I think even at $299 might be a little high. You might be able to find some other options out there when it comes down to budget devices. But still, if you're able to get this at $199, that is a complete steal for what this phone offers. This is a huge, really nice deal for $199. Even at $250, I would say might be a pretty good deal on here. But at $299, there are definitely other options, but still a great price if you want to have a budget device for your kids, for your, grandparents or something like that. You just need a cheap, quick device. I've heard some people buying several of these to put in stockings for stocking stuffers for Christmas. That is insane. So really good price for the Bold N3. Now going on over to the design of this device, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's unique. It looks fantastic. You do get a glass back on here, so that's fantastic. The frame is going to be made out of plastic. So as you can see right there, definitely not aluminum. You could tell it's not aluminum by the cutout for the USB port. and the texture, or just the way the shininess looks, it is a plastic frame, but the back is glass, which surprised me, and it feels really nice in the hand. It's a nice feeling phone. It doesn't weigh that much. It just feels really nice and premium. You get the curve on the back and the nice rounded edges, so it doesn't dig into your palm that much. And I definitely like the build of this device. No IP rating, so that's kind of a bummer, but still, you got to think of the price range, $299. You're not going to get everything like that, but still a nice, beautiful device, feels great in the hands, and I think it just looks the part. It looks like a flagship device. If you were to show this to anybody, they think this was a $1,000 device, but no, it's not. It looks and feels fantastic. So another pro is going to be NFC support. So most devices at this price range do not have NFC. That way you can use your Google Pay and transfer stuff and things like that. This does have NFC, and Google Pay does work on here pretty well. I haven't had any issues using Google Pay, so that's another pro, is going to be NFC support, so that's fantastic. Another pro is going to be the accessories. So you get a case bundled in the box. It's pretty much your standard GPU case that you get in the box, but you also get a 66-watt charger out of the box, so that's fantastic. You get your cable, which is really good as well, and you also get some USB Type-C earbuds if you want. They're not the greatest sounding. I don't like these type of earbuds, but for backups, you do get those in the box. So you do get everything you possibly need. It did come with a screen protector. I took that off just because I don't like certain screen protectors, and I'm picky and I like to feel the actual phone. But it comes with everything you need out of the box, so that is fantastic for the accessories. Now, going on over one of those accessories is going to be 66-watt fast charging with this little guy right here. That is insane for a budget device to get such high wattage charging. That's just fantastic. And most companies that are $1,000, most smartphones that are $1,000, don't even give you a charger in the box. They just give you this, and that's it. They call it a day. Here's your $1,000 phone and a cable. And yeah, Blue gives you everything. They give you a charger, which is really fast watt charging, 66 watts. No wireless charging on here, but still really good that they offer that. Definitely a pro in my book. So as far as the fingerprint scanner, it is in display and it works pretty well. As you can see right there, it is pretty quick, and definitely a little bit quicker than my LG V60 or any other LG device. It is an optical in-display fingerprint sensor. Now, most devices at this price range would have it on the power button to where you could unlock it, but this one, they do it underneath the fingerprint sensor or underneath the glass, so that's really nice, and definitely a nice premium feel that they will include that on such a budget device. And I think it looks great. You can change the animations on here too if you wanted to, so that's really cool. You could customize your fingerprint sensor, and like I said, it works really well. It might be just a little low, but it works really well and fast. And you also do get facial recognition if you want to, rely on that. If your finger is dirty or wet, you do get facial recognition, so that's fantastic. So as far as 5G support, as far as another pro, you do get 5G support. I am using this on T-Mobile. Apparently there is no AT&T or Verizon support on here, so it's T-Mobile and Metro PCS on here, and signal has been really good on here. It's exactly the same as any of my other devices when using 5G. No issues, speeds are there. Depending on where you're at, you'll get a signal. But like I said, there's no difference between using this and my Galaxy S23 Ultra on T-Mobile. It works just fine. So 5G support, definitely really, really good. Going on over to the cons of this device. So you do only get a mono speaker at the bottom. No stereo speakers. Again, think at a price range, I would like to have seen some stereo speakers, but you do only get this bottom firing speaker, and it's not the loudest in the world. So let's go ahead and take a listen. That way you guys could hear how this device sounds. All right, so how did that sound to you? For me, I think it sounds okay for watching a video on the fly, but like I said, the volume is just not that loud, and it sounds good. It just needs to be just a little bit louder. So going on over to the cameras. So the cameras are definitely not the strong point of this device, especially when you're recording video and taking pictures. The highlights are definitely really blown out in the background as far as the sky. You do not get any optical image stabilization. It is all EIS, which is electronic image stabilization. And that only works on 2K, not 4K video. So that's definitely a bummer. So if you're taking 4K video, it's going to be jumpy and choppy as hell. And as far as photos go, they come out okay. Front facing camera, definitely really blown out when it comes down to pictures in the sky and the background. And as far as the rear facing camera, it does a job. It's good enough for social media. Not going to be, not going to blow anybody out of the water for the cameras, but definitely a weak point for this device are the cameras. And a lot of devices like this do not have excellent cameras. Will it get the job done? Yes, it will, but it's not going to beat out any Galaxy S23 Ultra or even a V60 when it comes down to the camera. So definitely a con when it comes down to the Blu BOLD N3. So as far as durability, now while this does have a glass back, on here you do only get a plastic frame, and this glass back seems to scuff up pretty easily. I've already gotten some marks right here and over here from just sliding this on a table, and things like that will mark up the glass, so keep that in mind. I also get a mark over here as well. So while it is glass and it is frosted, it does seem to mark up pretty easily, and these will not come off. So durability, I would not expect this to be the most durable glass back on here. And it is glass, so it does not feel like plastic. So it is glass, it's just not the most durable. I don't know what kind of glass you're using. Obviously, it's not any sort of, Gorilla Glass on here, but still keep the case on there. And I learned that the hard way with these scratches. Now I pretty much rock it with the case. And unless I'm at home, and yeah, do not slide it around the table because it will mar up the back of the device. So as far as software support on here, so another con, this device came with Android 13 out of the box, and it did have an update waiting for me. So if you were to go into system and system updates, we are on August 5th security updates for security patch, and it is running Android 13. Now, whether or not this device will get Android 14, I highly doubt it. It may get, monthly security patches, but they may be bi-monthly security patches. So this isn't going to be, getting updates every single month like Samsung or Google. So definitely a con when it comes down to software support. These devices are meant to be pretty much a throwaway device, if you want to call it that. You may get a few updates here and there, security patches, but that is pretty much it. You're not going to get any, 3 years of software support on these type of devices. They're meant to be used just for a little while. They're cheap. And yeah, software support, definitely a con on here. So as far as another con, no expandable storage. Mostly a lot of devices at this price range do offer micro SD card support, especially even Samsung, but this device does not have any micro SD card. It is only going to be the 256 on this device, which I'm not mad about. 256 is more than enough storage for me and for the average user. I'm just glad it wasn't, 128, but 256 for me, I'm okay with. It's just nice to have that extra, expandable storage. Most people do still use that. But yeah, definitely a con. Not a huge con, but definitely a con. So as far as the last one goes, it's going to be the Bluetooth audio. Now, there aren't really any, tweaks when it comes down to your audio on here. It does have a hi-fi audio section, but there is no Dolby Atmos. There's no, fancy stuff like that, equalizer on here. And the Bluetooth audio is a little lower than some of my other devices I've noticed. I definitely have to crank the volume all the way up just to get a nice listening volume, when using any type of Bluetooth headset. So yeah, keep that in mind. The Bluetooth audio, while the signal is strong and does not cut out at all, so that's a good thing, but the audio and the volume on here is definitely a little lower than your average device. So other than that, those are my pros and cons. Definitely liking this device. I've been using it since I got it. And yeah, it works. That's all I can say is that it works. It does a job. You know, it turns on, it scrolls the internet. You could take out and snap a picture. Just be really still when you're doing it. Display is absolutely gorgeous to look at. Watch videos. Do everything like that. For the average user, this device would kill at $299, $250, $199, whatever the hell price you got it at. So yeah, that has been my pros and cons of the new Blu BOLD N3. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And I will see you next time here on Sick Eric Tech. Peace.